Natural law. Natural justice is the law of cause and effect. This is Natural Justice Video Series Part 2. And on the left, I have George Carlin. And a quote from him. George Carlin once said, quote, "Now there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about, politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they are elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders," end quote. And that's going to be the theme of this video. All right, it's the foundation of my work here and the foundation of this series, Natural Law series. Beginning quote, "The very idea of law originates in men's natural rights. There is no other standard than natural rights by which civil law can be measured. Law has always been the name of that rule or principle of justice which protects those rights. Thus we speak of natural law," end quote, Lysander Spooner. So that's the solution. That's the solution right there, folks. And I am going to introduce myself in a second here, but first I just want to mention one thing. Let me move on. Please support the One Great Work Network. So onegreatworknetwork.com. A lot of great content creators trying to teach people the solution. Aligning our rules in society with natural rights. And these people are really working hard, and help them, please. And also start taking up this work yourself. We need help in many ways. So, One Great Work Network. Check it out. I will introduce myself. My name is Bill Hoy. My website is naturallawwithbillhoy.com. I have a podcast series on Spotify, Natural Law. And I also have a video that I made. I have a few videos, but I made a video titled "America's Being Destroyed. It is not our nature to destroy ourselves." And in this video, I do not talk about the migrant crisis. I do not talk about liberals. I don't talk about Russians, Iranians. I don't talk about all the boogeymen that the mainstream media and these politicians tell us that we need to be afraid of. I talk about the underlying causal factors, which is information. People are not getting the right information. And that's why we're destroying ourselves. So, let me continue on. I am going to define natural law like I did in the first video. Natural law, a body of law that is universal, inherent, immutable, and objective that governs the results of human behaviors. This is the science of cause and effect. Natural law exists no matter what humans think or do. When humans initiate physical harm to others, the results are less freedom and more violence, suffering, and slavery. When humans refuse to initiate physical harm to others, there is more freedom in society. In a society that has more freedom, there can still be violence, suffering, and slavery. The difference is the majority of society will not condone it meaning the violence, suffering, and slavery. I kind of didn't have enough room there. I wanted to keep it like that. So that's once again, I always got to define natural law. And now to the theme of this video, which is the subtitle, Natural Justice is the Law of Cause and Effect, which is pretty much the theme of every one of these videos, ones that are soon to come. So continuing, our society is a reflection of what we think and how we behave. The responsibility to solve our problems is up to each individual. When people externalize their responsibilities for solving their own problems and problems in society, the laws of cause and effect will determine the results. This will always be true no matter what people think. And I'm going to get to that. We're going to clarify this here and let me move on. All right, now to this. Oh boy. I've been over this ad infinitum, this mess. So here is, you can see here, I have a circular chart, a circular insanity, and I have you got the top there, you got the dark occult, the royals, the Vatican, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, secret societies, CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, World Economic Forum, WEF, philanthropists and politicians. Okay, and it starts there, and it goes to the left, the liberals. Now, many people say, why do you have the left on the right? He made a mistake. No, I didn't. I put the left first for a reason on the right side of it. Okay, I put that here for a reason, and I'll show you that reason. Because the underlying ideology, I think, of this whole ruling class is international socialism, communism. Okay, I think that's the underlying theme. I think that's the goal. Okay, and I think it's pretty clear if you study this, you'll see that. I think you'll agree with me that this is the goal here, ultimate goal. But in order to get there, they got to go back around to the right, and they need a little national socialism. You got the National Socialism pacifier. There's a large number of people that don't want the international socialism. They just want their nationalist socialism. They think that makes them more free or whatever. And so that's how this works. The right is the pacifier, and then it goes back around to the left, and then back to the right, and then all the way up to the top, to the ruling class that feeds off everybody, and which the ultimate goal is international socialism, communism. Okay, and what people don't understand is that the left feeds the right and the right feeds the left. That's how this game works. Okay, the ruling class feeds off both. In order to break this cycle, at least one side has to withdraw their support of this insanity. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to talk about that. What can a politician do for you that you cannot do for yourself? It's amazing that we humans don't even realize how intelligent we are and that we can solve our own problems. We don't need these trash bags, but of course these trash bags are a reflection of us. And I'm going to get to that. So let's continue here. So here's the big problem. How does this system of mind control work? See, people think that the problem is the top box, and the top box there with all those crew of people, they are a problem. Absolutely, they're facilitators. But, however, the political system of dictatorship starts within the confines of the charade. The participants, left-right spectators, okay, dupe voters, believe in this system as a religion. The dupes do not call it a religion, but it is. And that's a big problem, and I'm going to get to that. And what does this religion consist of? What keeps this charade going? What keeps the people on the left and the people on the right involved? What is the underlying foundation of this whole theater of nonsense, which is the left-right paradigm of American politics? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. It's the belief in human rulership. Both the left and the right believe in human rulership. That's what keeps this whole system going. It's people don't want to extricate themselves from this system because they believe in human rulership as natural. And I'm going to go to the chart and show you how this works. So let me give a little explanation about how the belief in human rulership holds up this left-right paradigm and the spectator dupe voters keep participating, okay? So you have I got a chart here. It's one row. I'll start with the first box on the left titled Political Factions. And in that box, I have the left, the liberals, the right, conservatives, and sadly, many people in the freedom movement. It's very sad that people in the freedom movement participate in this stuff. It's unbelievable. Not even free in their own minds. But anyway, to the next box, I got the thinking, okay? And in quotes here, I got basically things that I hear left, right, dupe, spectator voters tell me. In quotes, we have to vote to keep the other side out of office. Again, in quotes, voting is necessary. Now, the dupes think that there is no other way to achieve freedom and societal alignment with traditional American values. The dupes think that they can vote their way to freedom. They do not realize that we already have freedom. Free will is freedom. Choice is freedom. Voting only keeps the dupes and the rest of the populace stuck to this political system. That's the thing. They're stuck to this religious political system. And they think that the only way to solve the problem is to keep the other side out of office. So let's continue. We've got fears in the third box here, which is this whole system is based in fear. Okay, to the content. The dupes think that if the other side gets elected, they have to follow the rules of the other side. The dupes think the only way to achieve freedom and societal alignment with their values is to vote for people who say they share the values of a particular side. Instead of trying to garner support in the populace to disobey rules called laws that are arbitrary and immoral, the dupes think that non-compliance with politicians and their enforcers is equivalent to immoral behavior. That's this religion. That's this religion, the belief in human rulership. That's what holds this system up. That's what holds this system up. Now to the last box, the reality. Okay, on the right, last box. The dupes think that obeying a legitimate authority is a virtue, whether the authority is liked or not. That's a big one. Spectators/voters think that saying no to rulers and their enforcers is not an option. It's not even on the table, folks, with these people. The politicians and their enforcers are perceived as synonymous with morality. The police are worshipped as gods who, because of the rituals they go through, are endowed with rights and powers that others do not have, so they think. And that's how this system holds up. That's the major foundation of this left-right political system. Continuing on. All right, the belief in human rulership holds this political system, this left-right paradigm up and keeps it going, but there's something else to this. There's something else that in order for this system to work, something else is needed, and that is the entire population accepts the belief. The entire population has to accept the belief in human rulership in order for this system to ensnare the entire populace, okay, and to get all of us. The belief in human rulership has to be accepted by the majority of the populace, which is pretty much everyone, okay, in reality. Okay, so the entire population accepts the belief. They do not participate in the left-right paradigm, but their belief in the legitimacy of human rulership ensnares the entire populace. So the majority, really I would say the majority of people in America, I'll speak for America, but you can apply this to anywhere in the world, don't really even like politics. They think all these politicians are dirtbags and they don't like the whole political process, but they still believe in human rulership. They think they don't participate in it, but they really kind of do, because they still believe in human rulership, and that keeps all of this whole paradigm propped up. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more here in this next chart. All right, now I got a chart here, okay, with 2 content rows and 5 columns. And I'm going to start with the first column. So this is how the left-right paradigm is held up by the belief in human rulership, and then the belief in human rulership of the general populace holds this whole thing up. Okay? So in the first column, I got U.S. President, and I'm going to go through the first row in the blue here. All right, I will start with U.S. President on the left here. In the blue, you see Kamala Harris there. Left-sided politician becomes president. Okay, to the next box in this blue row, the political left. The left is happy. They're distorted, selfish to the extreme, values are being forced on others via the threat of violence. Moving over to the next box in the blue, the political right. The right reluctantly abides by the rules despite their hatred of the left. The right still believes in human rulership. Now to the next box in the blue, political result. The right still participates in the two-party system. The existence of the left gives the right a reason to exist, and that's that lesser of two evils. Now to the last box in the blue, aggregate result, meaning in society. Almost everyone believes in human rulership. The monetary reward system is also valued as virtuous and necessary. That's going to be another video. I'm going to get to that. The reward system, the money system, that's a big one too. That's a human rulership and the monetary system are tied together. But for this video, I'm just working on the belief in human rulership. Okay, now to the first column, second row, in the right, in the red, sorry, but it's going to be talking about the right here, U.S. President. So here we go. I got U.S. President in the red. Right-sided politician becomes president. And you see there's Donald Trump. Now moving over to the next row, in the red, the political left. The left reluctantly abides by the rules despite their hatred of the right. The left still believes in human rulership. Okay? Now, I'm going to the next column, the political right. In the red, the right is happy. Their racist / selfish to the extreme values are being forced on others via the threat of violence. Now moving over to the next column in the red, I'm still in the bottom row. Political result, the left still believes in the two-party system. The existence of the right gives the left a reason to exist. The lesser of two evils. Lesser of two evils is still evil, folks. Now to the last column, bottom row, in the red, aggregate result, almost everyone believes in human rulership. The monetary reward system is also valued as virtuous and necessary. So pretty much you can see the patterns, you can see the similarities. It's just the changes are with the political left and the political right. The left, the existence of the left gives the right a reason to exist, and the existence of the right gives the left a reason to exist. Okay? That's how this system works. And then you go to the aggregate result, and the entire population holding this up with their belief in human rulership. All right. There's a movie projector there, and look what comes up on the screen. How nice, huh? Our society works like a projector. What each individual person thinks and how they behave in combination with the rest of the people in society and their thinking and behaviors, the current events in society will reflect this. The problems originate from inside of us, not outside. People think that the problems all come from outside, so the solution is an outside solution. This is a lot of mental trickery here. Yes, it is true that there are external problems that arise from people's thoughts and behaviors. There are many examples of that. However, when people address their individual thinking and behaviors, many of the external problems will disappear, and the ones that do not will be able to be more easily solved. The solution is based in principles that are universal and objective. Everyone is equal in rights. Like how I describe natural law. Right is a behavior that does not initiate physical harm to another sentient being. Okay? And here we have what George Carlin mentioned. Garbage in, garbage out. You got the population there in the blue little silhouettes, the movie projector projecting up on the screen. The population puts the garbage in, and the garbage comes out in the form of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And these people that are put up by the social engineers, Harris and Trump, are a reflection of Americans, okay, of what we value. So to the writing above the two politicians, Americans value human rulership, obedience as a virtue, making money as a primary importance. Material things determine the goodness of a person, safety over freedom, violence, and the lesser of two evils, and that's what you get. These two pieces of trash are a reflection of us, and it's the truth. All right, this is very depressing. I suggest you look into this. This is the Milgram experiment, and I'm just going to paraphrase. On the right here, there's a picture of Stanley Milgram. It was a series of experiments examining obedience to authority conducted by social psychologist Stanley Milgram. And in the experiment, an authority figure, the conductor of the experiment, would instruct the volunteer participant, labeled the teacher, to administer painful, even dangerous electric shocks to the learner, okay, who was actually an actor, okay, and the shocks were faked, okay, and I urge you to look into this, all right, but I do want to mention in the lower left here, 2/3 of the people in the experiment stayed until the end, obeying the authority figure and shocking the person almost to death. So they thought. Once again, the shocks are fake. Okay. Even Stanley Milgram, after witnessing this, was horrified. However, even Milgram reverted to the common rhetoric claiming that a ruling class is still necessary for a functioning society. How about that, huh? That's amazing. Shocking. Look into the Milgram experiments. You won't like what you find out. Spooner gives us a blueprint for creating a freer and more moral society. To the first arrow, the key is to understand that our rules, called laws, that comprise what we call a justice system, both local and regional, are a reflection of what we value and think is moral and immoral. People's understanding of morality is relative. As a result, legal does not equal moral, like taxation, robbery, extortion, coercion with the threat of violence, which is immoral, but it's legal. And illegal does not mean immoral, like drug prohibition. Okay, ingesting a substance into our bodies. That's a perfectly moral behavior, but that is illegal. Spooner's solution aligns legal with moral and illegal with immoral. Illegal activities must be behaviors that violate people's property rights. People have to understand what constitutes personal property and align their values with their knowledge. And when we do that, our society will reflect this. So let's elaborate on this more. Next arrow, what is personal property? A lot of people don't really know this. A person's property entails exclusive ownership of morally acquired resources and naturally created biological sentient minds and bodies. Monetary resources earned morally, dwellings and land, a person's body naturally created by the Creator, and clothing attached to a naturally created body constitute some of the most crucial items of personal property. Humans can only truly own what they acquire morally. Human beings own their bodies and what is attached to them. Murder, assault, rape, theft, like taxation, trespass, coercion with the threat of violence, like taxation, and willful lying that results in physical harm are transgressions against property. No one can own another person's body. Property rights must be completely understood as universal, and our behaviors must align with property rights as a primary value system, if we want freedom. To the last arrow, the political system is a reflection of what we value. It is a system that is designed to accommodate people with subjective morals who support violence while renaming the violence and claiming the violence is necessary for societal survival. Violence is still violence, and evil is still evil. That's cause and effect. It is a system, the political system, that encourages the desire for money as more important than moral behaviors. It is a system that is designed to get people to focus on exterior enemies. This keeps people's focus off of themselves. When an entire society believes that human rulership is necessary, even if they do not like a particular ruler or rulership in general, the societal result will be violence, both legitimate and non-legitimate, suffering, and destruction of property rights, i.e. slavery. And an example of that would be in quotes, quote, "You will own nothing and be happy," end quote, and that's from Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari, your friends at the World Economic Forum. That's your future. Keep going with this. And this will conclude this video, and well, time to get honest, folks. Our society is a reflection of how we think and how we behave. The problem is us. All right.